right, positive energy all the time. Hope everybody's doing well. Here we go. Well, you know how we start. Rep your city, rep your city. I'm representing Chicago, Illinois. So shout out to everybody on Twitch, on Kick, on YouTube, and on both Facebook accounts. We have Orlando in the building. We have Berkeley in the building. I hear the Bears are leaving Chicago. Is that true? They do this every so many years. So, it's hard to say. Nothing is finalized. I don't know. They're looking at a place outside of Chicago. One reason teams can do that is because when you're a Bears fan, you might not. There's going to be a lot of Bear fans in the surrounding states. Every city doesn't have a football team. So there's going to be fans in surrounding areas. And so as far as the Bears market is bigger than the city of Chicago. So business-wise, if they're right outside of Chicago, they're still going to make a ton of money, and real Bear fans are going to still go see the game. So some people won't like it, but now moving to Indiana would be horrible because you got the Colts. Don't you have the Indianapolis Colts? Are the Colts still in Indiana? So to go to Hammond, is Hammond, Illinois? Hammond is still Illinois. Hammond would be all right. Is Hammond, Illinois, or is Hammond, Indiana Wi-Fi? Because if they leave the state, that'd be horrible. You can't leave the state. Oh, no, they can't go to no damn Hammond. Hell no. Hell, if they go to Hammond, they ain't the Bears no more. How you the Bears in Indiana? They can't go to another state. Now, if they go, out, around out in Harvey or somewhere like that. But to leave the state, yeah, they could go to Calumet City or something like that. But to leave the state is crazy. I don't watch sports. Yeah, I don't watch sports. Yeah, I don't watch sports. To leave the state, that would be ridiculous. It's so much empty land. All out there in Schaumburg and all out there. And Arlington Heights, I mean, there's land everywhere. If it was me, I'd tear all that stuff down and I'll build a new stadium right where the other one is. I'll tear all that down, even the old Soldiers Field, all of that. I'll tear it all down. I'll put it right back where it's at. If they go to Indiana, mm-mm. Because they already, if they leave Chicago, if they leave downtown, Chicago, we not like them. We not like those other cities. We not like none of these other cities. We not like we not like no other city. I give you an example. The Cubs lost for 100 years and Wrigley Field stayed packed. Chicago is the most loyal sports fan in America. That's a fact. Chicago is the most loyal sports fans in America. Anywhere else, if the Cubs lose for 100 years, the stadium is empty. Here, if the Blackhawks don't win, it's still going to be packed. If the Bulls don't win, it's still going to be packed. It's going to be packed no matter what. Build it next to Navy Pier. They should tear all that stuff down and build it right where it's at. That's the perfect location. When I was small, no. When I was small, it was Cubs. It was always the Cubs. We never liked the White Sox. It was the Cubs. Nobody liked the White Sox in Chicago until the 80s. The whole Chicago was Cub fans. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, in grade school, when the Cubs would come on, they would roll the TV. So remember back in school where they had the big TVs on the roller. They had like the TV room where they used to have like, I think the VHS or something. And they would roll the TV into all the classrooms. We watched the Cubs. The Cubs was always the biggest, especially for foundational Black Americans, because the Cubs was one of the first Black teams as far as having Black superstars. Billy Williams, Ferguson Jenkins. So we had, there was great Ernie Banks. Back then, nobody had a Black pitcher but Chicago. Ferguson Jenkins, Vida Blue. There probably was only 3 Black pitchers in the whole baseball. Ferguson Jenkins, Vida Blue. I'm forgetting somebody. Yeah, the card. Good Day Peace. She know what it is. Good Day Peace used to be one of the young ladies that go get the card for the teacher. Yeah, she used to go get the card for the teacher. She was up in there getting all E's and G's. You used to get E's, excellent, G for good, F for fair, and a U was unsatisfactory. So what you all call an F used to be a U. A U used to be an F, and an F used to be a D. And a B used y'all don't know nothing about that. A B used to be, because the biggest letter was E. You get an E, excellent. A G was a B. G was good. E was excellent. That was an A. E was excellent. G was good. That was a B. F was fair. That was a D. And U was unsatisfactory. So today, y'all, I'm going to talk about Corey Holcomb. Now, I never liked Corey Holcomb, but he's a homeboy. So I just didn't mention it. I never, never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, 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 never, never, ever, ever, never liked Corey Holcomb. To me, he was one of the worst black comedians of all time and still is. Never liked him. I never liked Corey. Corey is horrible. And Corey is not the brightest bulb in the lamp. It was horrible. Because Corey always disrespected women. Corey always disrespected women. Women was always the butt of his jokes. And this was during the late 90s, early 2000s, around the Comic View era, when D.L. Hughley and all of them hit the scene. And Corey is a stupid businessman. He's not a good businessman. He's not that smart. And I'm gonna tell you why. For foundational Black Americans, these comedy shows were date night when you and the queen ain't going out. This is our facts. So comedy, Friday night, Saturday night when the comedy shows come on, that was date night, right? For families now. So let me paint some real foundational Black American history. Black families that have children don't go out much. They don't go out on dates much because we don't like leaving our children with strangers. Also, foundational Black American culture did not promote husband and wife dates. How old are you, Kyra? So, foundational Black Americans didn't go out on dates. Right. So when I was growing up, my mother and father, it might be once a year, barely twice a year would they go out and leave me and my sister at home. Real talk. And those situations would be only because they had to leave us at home, because maybe my mother won an award and got to go to some restaurant, and it's like, it's an adult event. Other than that, foundational Black Americans date night was the whole family. Daddy get the car ready, mommy, they put you in the back, the whole family, we go to the drive-in. We go to the drive-in. They dated in the day. Mama and daddy take the kids to the zoo, take the kids to Riverview, take the kids to the circus. And so if it wasn't a strictly adult event, parents never left their children. Family friends, my mother and father's friends, this is back when I was growing up. All of their friends, they have no single friends. So when they went to events, family events, all of the families would be at the event. So if we're going to the Richardson's house, all of the families, the husbands and wives and children, all go to the Richardson's house. Many of these houses has basements, so they'd have the basement fixed up for the children. And I get to hang out with Michael and Mark Richardson and Jock and all of the children of the adults, and the adults will be upstairs in the living room and the kitchen. When the wives would prepare the food, or when the food is ready, the wives would serve the husbands first. Then the wives would all serve the children, and then the wives would eat. And then when the wives get through eating, they would clean up behind the children and the husbands. And so all the events were family events. It was very, 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 very few times. Now, when my generation came, because me and my queen at the time, Corey, got big, we had 4 teenagers and a little girl. So we wasn't going out that much. You know, I can give you one example. We went out one time, we came back, and the girl twins that got into it, and one of them threw a knife at the other one. See what I'm saying? They was old enough to be home. They was old enough to be there. The baby there, the young one, well, she wasn't a baby, you know, she's 7 or something like that. And 4 teenagers, and the girls, the twins, got into it, and one of the twins threw a knife at the other one. See? So this is why we don't be leaving the children at home. You understand? So we did a lot of dating, a lot of enjoyment on Friday was at home. It's Friday. My son and my stepson in their room, you know what they doing. I go out, get everybody what they want. The kids want J&J fish. My queen, before she went vegan, she might want jerk chicken. And I got to go to the Hebrew Israelites and get my vegan food. So I might have to go to 3 stops. That's why you don't judge anybody. Because you can say, Pharaoh say it's vegan. I seen them standing at J&J fish. That was for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Big Pharaoh was eating it. And so one of the main dates in the mid to late 90s and in the early 2000s was comedy and Blockbuster. Blockbuster was the date night for the whole family because you got VCRs, you got the VCR and TV. So you go to Blockbuster, you get the kids, the movies for the children first. Then you and your wife got the movie. So there was a lot of home dating. And part of a Friday or Saturday night would be to watch BET, Comic View, right? We're not missing D.L. Hughley. We're not missing Cedric the Entertainer. We're not missing none of that. And I remember the young Corey Holcomb. And I just didn't like him because the comedy he had wasn't good for my queen. It was insulting for married men. This was the beginning of the fall of foundational Black Americans when it comes to family. Ain't nobody gonna sit there, bro, and listen to you talk crazy about women. Because as far as I'm concerned, you talking about our mamas, you talking about our wives, you talking about our aunties. It's not funny. And when you see a man using his comedy pulpit to bully women, he's a punk. So I never liked Corey. He was always a punk to me. But I wasn't going to get on social media and say nothing because y'all know how it is. We be repping our city. And when we have some weakness in the city, we don't like to say nothing about our own city. Now, if he was in your city, I would have said something. Hey, we kind of hypocritical. You know what I'm saying? If it's a weirdo in Chicago, we try act like we don't see dude. You know what I'm saying? But if he's a weirdo in New York, we see him like that. We do that. We do that. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of the Black culture, foundational Black American culture. We had, in our city, he aight, but if he in your city, he ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Am I lying? And so because he was from Chicago, but I never liked him. Because I always looked at him as a weirdo. He wasn't ever funny. His comedy was insulting. And the men in his crowd, I used to look at them like the P word, like kitty cats. I don't respect, and let me get that straight. If you're a man, you brothers, please listen to me. Do not come in the chat and support Corey. Okay? Trust me on this one, okay? All the men that's watching me, all the brothers watching me, listen to Pharaoh. Let me give you advice. Don't support Corey because you marking yourself. Brothers, listen to me. Social media ain't no joke. You don't want to have any record of supporting Corey. You might as well support R. Kelly. You don't want that. I'm telling you. Now, for you brothers that's got the alias names and stuff, y'all be doing anything because nobody know who y'all are. But if you identifiable, do not publicly support Corey. And so Corey was bad for business because you sitting there with your woman and this man got all these tasteless jokes about women. He's not talking like a married man. He's talking like a big old man still dating. So he's talking like a dude that ain't in no relationship, like a vagabond. That's what he's talking like. So it's hard for a real player or a real man that got a queen, because we always cuff a queen. So it's hard for me to relate to your comedy when you're a big old single dude. Right? See what I tell you? See, some brothers don't listen. Right? Some people don't listen. Mark this up. You know what I'm saying? So what he's saying is, you can make jokes about kids, about adult actions with children, and Bay Area vegan will still watch you and say, well, he say other things. Basically. Which means you don't have that reject button, right? Because, for men, so when you start saying certain stuff about women and children, it's an automatic reject, right? And we're not trying to hear none you say. So the fact you don't have that reject button doesn't mean he says some good things. It means you cool with the bad stuff he's saying, basically. You in the Bay Area, huh? Interesting. You in the Bay? You up in the Bay Area? You up around San Francisco? Interesting. Okay. You up in the Bay? You up in the Bay Area? I bet he do got game. Okay. All right. Anyway, let me delete that. Exposing himself. I'm showing him, I tried to help the brother, didn't I? Listen. See, he marked this up. So now every time I see him, I'm thinking he's cool with the children. See what I'm saying? He's suspect now. Because he's not appalled. You know what I mean? And this dude making jokes about minors and stuff. And he like, yeah, but he still say some good stuff sometimes. Oh, okay, marked. He marked himself. So now every time I see Bay Area vegan, you know. Okay, listen, come back to mine. Yeah, bye. Bye. To the other brothers that's intelligent, don't make that mistake. You already know if he say them jokes around the wrong brothers like you and me and brothers like that, you already know how that's going to go. You already know how that's going to go. Now, I got 3 daughters and I got granddaughters. Now, the thing about Corey is Corey always called every woman the B word. Everyone. And now that it's coming out and talking about little girls, he called the little girls the B words. You know, little B word, B word. He called all females the B word. He don't call them nothing. Every woman he calls the B word, from little girls to adults. And so there's some mental issues there, professionally speaking. There's mental issues. And when you have these mental issues and these, his own daughter, yeah, when you have these mental issues, they begin to leak out. So what's going on is he's having a mental leakage. That's what he's doing. He got sloppy. He started telling on himself. He started talking about going overseas where you could be with children. Okay? See, when you live a certain type of life, you can only hide it so long. It'll start leaking out, especially when you talk a lot. And so once he started going live streaming and talking a lot, he started doing what we call spilling the beans. He told on himself. He told on himself. He got mental issues. So now when you look and see, okay, he always hated women, and now he hates little girls. Also, you just hate females. It don't matter if they're kids or adults. and you ain't got no woman. He ain't got no woman. If you got a woman, you can't say none of that stuff he's saying. Not only is he ruined himself, he ruined the lady on there that just sat there and let him disrespect women and kids all the time. She's finished. What's her name? Darlene? Wasn't that? He said Corey will never lose. He's already lost. And you lost too, Chris. You holding a big L right now. Yeah, come back tomorrow. So the man, he ain't got no queen. Because if you got a wife or a queen, she not gonna like your comedy. So somebody said Corey would never lose while he's taking a big L right now. He's losing. He's a loss already. Corey is done. He's finished. Because from this point on, anybody that enjoys him will be snitching on themselves. Because everybody gonna be like, why are you so comfortable? You know? So you like what dude be saying? Who gonna go? What decent man want to be sitting in that audience? You couldn't pay me to sit in that audience because I don't share none of those views, and he's always been like that. And you see, Chris came over here because there's always been supporters of that because there's a lot of people just like him, and that's why he's successful because he exposed misogyny. And he exposed childism. That's what he did. We're going to break it down. He exposed just a lot of misogynists out here. Because there's no way he could have made it without a lot of men that hate women. Because ain't no man that love women going to like Corey. Now, some of the biggest haters of women are transsexuals, gay men. Gay men are in competition with women, so they don't like them. I learned that from watching Maury and Jerry Springer. I would be watching Jerry Springer and he would bring a dude out. Then he would bring the dude's woman out, wife or girlfriend. Then the dude would tell his wife or girlfriend that he's been having an affair with somebody. Then the transsexual would come out and immediately want to fight the woman. Hater. And even when I was young, the old school trannies, they hated women. They used to call them fish. They're like, oh, fish. Hated them. And I used to think as a young person, high school, how you got a wig on and stockings trying to look like a woman, but you hate women. A lot of gay men hate women. So Tory absolutely hated women. And psychologically watching him, now we see he hates girls. He makes no bad jokes about men, and he makes no bad jokes about little boys. all of his disrespect is towards females. Females is the butt of his joke. And every female, from a grown woman to a baby, is a B word. He say, little B, that's what he said about the kids. Like I be there with my girlfriend and her daughter be there, and the little B this and the little B that. The little B 5 years old. The little B 3 years old. He said the girl put the bottle in her mouth, and he was watching the baby with the bottle in her mouth. What man? I got three daughters. I raised stepdaughters too. What man gonna sit there and watch you disrespecting our daughters? Only one is this new group of men that's 30, 40 years old, ain't got no children. The weirdo group that we got out here now, you 30, 40 years old, you ain't got a baby nowhere, ain't married. Strange. Super strange. So they'll go see him because they ain't got no kids. They ain't got no wife. Ain't no man gonna sit there and watch you disrespect women. So it's a bad business move because how can I take my wife or my queen to your show? She gonna look at me crazy. Because now she got to sit there and hear all of this misogynistic jokes. And her sex is the butt of the joke. It's very deep rooted. And man, we're very protective of our daughters. Now, one thing about Corey, while Corey's constantly disrespecting women and little girls, oh, he's the toughest in the world. Y'all believe that? You see, he punched a lady in the face. Corey not built like that. Corey not tough. Corey's scary. When Anton said, let's go outside, he didn't go. Corey is not that. There is no masculine, strong man that's going to make jokes about little girls and women. He ain't going to do that. Right then, we know Corey not that. He watched this, blah, blah, blah. Corey would never walk up to me ever in his life. He wouldn't even walk up to me. Him and his whole crew. When he with 9 people, he would never walk up. He would never walk up on me. Never. Because there ain't going to be all this yapping and all that. And I try to get the hell away from him. If I seen Corey coming this way, I'll go that way. I wouldn't want to be in a picture with him. I wouldn't want to have no confrontation with him or nothing. I don't get no brownie points getting into it with no soft dude like that. They make girl jokes and baby jokes. You ain't no gangster like that. What kind of brownie points I'm gonna get for getting into it with him? You don't get no brownie points with him. He's soft as that. He's soft. This is what he's on. Misogyny. Misogyny is the deeply rooted hatred, contempt, or prejudice against women, functioning as a system of control to maintain patriarchal societal roles, originating from the Greek mesin, to hate, and guni, women, Now the Greeks was LBGTQ, the men. The Greeks used to take little boys to a place called a gym. The gymnasium is where they would take little boys and do things I can't say on the internet to little boys. It was called a gymnasium, which coincidentally, look how many coaches have been accused of doing stuff to their male players in the gym. In the gym, the gymnasium, that's Greek history. So the word misogyny is Greek. The hate for women. It manifests through sexism, victim blaming, objectification. All of Corey's jokes are objectification. The women's are the butt of his jokes, are the object of his insults. It is reinforced by toxic cultural norms, online misogynistic influencers, and historical structural inequalities. That's what he's a misogynist. He don't like women based on his action. You disrespect grown women, that's the main part of your comedy. And now we see a bunch of videos, you disrespecting little girls, baby girls, teenage girls, newborns, 12 years old, 10, all the females. He disrespects every age of females. No males. No males. And he's got a bunch of males there laughing, and then he's got the female there to really be the one that he's talking about. So she has to sit there and accept all that disrespect. Darlene, her career's over. She's finished. Darlene is finished. She's done. Corey is done. Corey's career is over. He's finished. Because a lot of people didn't like him anyway, because the women. Now he's doing the little girls and the children, he's done. Because a lot of men ain't going to want that jacket, and they ain't going to want to go see him. That ain't the thing to be. That's not the person to support. Y'all brothers better listen to me. And if you got skeletons in your closet and you get on social media and support Corey, you're going to get investigated. You just asking. You just asking to be investigated. Stay away from that. It was bad enough you were supporting when you talk about women. Now, are they all these videos about children? Listen, men, stay away from that. Because once you do that, you're going to be looked at as one of them peas. I'm trying to tell you. Misogyny may be distinguished from the closely related word sexism, which signifies discrimination based on sex, although it most frequently refers to discrimination against women, and also carries the meaning behavior, conditions, or attitudes that foster stereotypes and social roles based on sex. Misogyny refers specifically to hatred of women. The word is formed from the Greek roots misogyne and gyne, to hate women. Each of these roots can be found in other English words, both common and obscure. Now, not only does he hate women, we found out he practices childism. Childism is defined as a prejudice, discrimination, or systemic oppression against children. Analogs to racism or sexism, which rationalize the devaluation, abuse, or dismissal of children based on their age and presumed inferiority to adults. Coined in 1975, it covers everyday microaggressions such as dismissing children's voices to sever systematic issues like corporal punishment, child neglect, and limited legal rights. And so, what he has been saying about children that has been exposed recently is definitely a dismissal of their rights. He talks about them like they're here for his pleasure. And he's getting older, so he's got mental issues. So he let all that leak out. Right now, he regrets saying all of that. And it's almost like a bad dream. He can't believe he said all that. I'm telling you the psychology. When he watches back all the things he said about kids, he is a different person looking at himself, saying to himself, he see himself slip. Because it ain't no way he watch what he been saying about children and think it's cool. He's looking like, dang, man, why did I say all of that? Why did I say all of that? And now when he comes on, he's totally uncomfortable. He's constantly backpedaling. He doesn't know what to say. He's on defense mode. He never addressed the issue. He never addressed why you say all that about your children. Why you saying all that about your daughter? Why you talking about dating women and looking at their daughters? You know how creepy that is? You know, I got two stepdaughters, and when I met their mother, they was probably 6, right? So they like 6 years old. And they would be in the room with the bunk bed, right? The baby was too little to sleep in there with them, but we had to watch the baby. So they had their little room. They're like 6. The mother was a nurse. So when she gone, I'm at home, I gotta watch the children. So I gotta watch the boys. I gotta watch the girls. And when you got boys and girls, you make them keep their doors open. Right? Because what y'all doing? You know, you gotta watch kids. Now, it's no problem with them keeping their doors open because once they get up in the morning and get dressed, they got clothes on. They ain't supposed to be not having no clothes on. And so I would always, sometime when the door closed, I would bust into the twins' room, the girls' room. What y'all doing? What y'all doing? What y'all doing? So one time, years had went by. And one time I bust in a room and they was dressed and everything, but it didn't feel right because they were getting too old. See what I'm saying? They was headed into this teenager. So I'm like, okay, I can't bust in their room no more. Right? Because like kids is like kids. So little girls is like kids, little boys and little girls, they just kids. But after a while, they turn to young men and young ladies. So I had to knock when their door was closed because they was getting too old. And they were still little when I started doing that. But you can tell, okay, they getting too old to be busting in here. What if I bust in here and they ain't dressed? Because I ain't never seen them undressed before. You know, we never see our daughters naked. The mama do all that. We don't never see no girls with no clothes on. Men, we not comfortable even with girl babies. We're not comfortable. We're not comfortable with girl babies. You know how your son, you got to change him, and he, you know, he what 4 months, 6 months, he ain't in the. He might have pull-ups on. We ain't really comfortable with changing no girls' pull-ups like that. You know, mommy got to do that. You know, we'll take a little boy, we'll take a little 2 or 3 year old boy and put him in the tub. We ain't cool with taking no 2 or 3 year old little girl and putting her in the tub. We just ain't. A man that that's just creepy. You know, we got these instincts. We just ain't, you know, we ain't comfortable with it. A lot of men know what I'm saying. I raised a lot of daughters. I ain't never did none of that. Mama do, mama do all that. You know, I don't do none of that. It get to the point where the daddy do the boys and mommy do the girls. Mommy don't like doing the boys either. Mommy don't like certain things with her son when he's get too old. They don't. Was my dad like that with your sister? My daddy didn't do kids at all. My daddy didn't do nothing, didn't do kids. Mama did all the kids stuff, or my auntie. My daddy didn't do kids. My daddy from the old school, they don't do kids at all. Your mama get up in the morning, lay your clothes out, and you put them on. If you're gonna get a bath, mommy gonna bathe you at night. And when mommy bathe you, the girl, mommy will put the girl in there and help the girl. But the little boy, she'll run your water. But mama not putting you in the tub and all that. My mama ain't putting me in no tub or nothing. As a little boy, I got to get in the tub. I got to get out the tub. I got to dry myself off. Facts. My mama didn't dry me off for none of that. Hell no. Because you're a boy, and also not only do she don't want to be looking at no male naked, but also you got to be a big boy. She don't want you to be no little kitty cat. You got to be a big boy. So you got to put your underwear on and your socks and all that yourself. These old school mamas, they raise you to be a man. Mommy not dressing you. Mommy gonna dress you at newborn 1 and 2, maybe 3. Mommy not dressing you by the time you get 4. She'll lay your clothes out. She lay your clothes out. She said, put your clothes on. And she leave. Mommy not dressing you like these new mamas. Once you old enough to get on that tricycle and ride through that house fast and crash out, you can dress yourself. Once you can run through this house and all that, little boys got to do their own stuff. We don't dress little boys. Nobody dress little boys. And then when he come out in his clothes crooked, then daddy straightening him up and mama might straighten his clothes out. We don't dress little boys. You lay their clothes out. And we don't dress little girls. You lay their clothes out. They dress themselves. Mommy just lay y'all clothes out. My sister clothes laid out on the bed. My clothes. You got to go in there and put them on. That's a part of growing up. A part of growing up is figuring out how to put your socks on. Yeah, back then, them people from down south, you got to practice everything in life. You got to figure out how to put your socks on. That's why we were so great at doing things. Mommy not putting your nothing on. The only thing mama gonna put on your daughter is her dress. But mommy's not putting her panties on, her t-shirt, her socks. No, them old school parents, no. No, they like that word big when I was growing up. You a big boy, you a big girl. This is how we was raised. We was raised to be big. We wasn't raised like, oh, no. My parents from Alabama. No, you a big girl. You a big girl. Go on, put your clothes on. You a big girl. Go on. And then when she come out with them on, say, look, Mama, she got socked backward. They turned around. Hey, you come out. Your sister come out the room or your son come out the room when he first started learning how to put his clothes on. And then she got to straighten it up. He got his drawers on backwards. The part you urinate out is in the back. And she said, go, you got them wrong. Go turn around, put them on the right. You got them backwards. You know, you had to be smart. Mommy listen, if you come out, you're a little boy, you got your underwear on the wrong way, mama's not fixing that. I'm telling y'all how I was raised. Your mama not fixing that. Your mama's not fixing it. She's going to go in there and turn around. Boy, you got them on backwards. And then you go in there and put them on the right way. Come out, you so proud. And she said, there you go. Okay, that's a big boy. Look at him, just dress himself. That's how we was raised. And you feel like, yeah, I can dress myself. And once you get it, you're like a little bitty grown man. And a woman come back and they see you and they say, your auntie say, oh, look at little Michael, he cute. Your grandmom like, he ain't cute, he handsome. Monkeys is cute. Yeah, you couldn't call us cute. You had to call us handsome. And then you grew up and you watch your daddy cross his leg, you cross your leg. Yeah, and you do everything daddy do. That's why daddy got to be in the house like mama. The daughter watching mama. She watching everything mama do. She know, I'm a girl like mommy. The boy know, I'm a boy like daddy. The children know. So I'm saying all that to say, how I'm going to sit in my house. I got on Comic View. Me and my queen, we worked all week, we trying to relax. It's Friday or Saturday night. I got the TV on and the brother get on there disrespecting women. Bro, you're supposed to get on there and entertain me and my woman. You ain't supposed to get in there and make my woman the butt of no joke. And everything come out your mouth. Bees is this and bees is that. And these bees ain't this. Bro, that's not comedy. That's not comedy. You're not supposed to call women the B word. They not the B word. The B word is for a specific woman that might have got on your nerve. Not just in general. He calls women the B word so much, he called the little kids to be. The little B got the bottle in her mouth. Bro, what? She come out, she 2 years old. He said the little B got, I said, bro, did he call a baby a B word? See what I'm saying? And all of them people in here sitting around giggling and snickling. Now, where I come from and how we be out in the streets, that's why I say I walk away because, you know what I'm saying, it'll go bad for them. And, you know, I don't promote no violence and stuff. I'd have to stay away from Corey and his whole crew. The light-skinned dude, I can't be around dude. It'll go sideways. I'm going to totally disrespect them. And then I'm gonna, you see what I'm saying? So I have to not be around people like that. Period. He talk about going somewhere where he could be with kids. And a young girl ain't that. An 18-year-old girl is whack. An 18-year-old girl is absolutely whack. I tell this story all the time. One day my boy came to my apartment. I just got out of jail. He came back with two females, his girlfriend and her friend. They saying they 20, something like that. I hook up with the friend, taking her to the mall, buying her stuff. So one day I go to drop her off at home. My mama come out and say, "Hey, what you doing with him?" He said, "You know she 18." This girl done told me she finna be 20. 18. Now, real talk. I hadn't really been with her that much. I had just met her, or I would have bumped into her mom early. But she wasn't my type because it was too high schooly. It ain't no way she could have been my woman anyway, because it was just, I was 40. What I want to be with a girl that want to go and hang out with a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds and stuff. So I was like, listen, we can't do this. There was nothing really mature about her like that. And like when you hang out with a woman, you either like her or you don't. So I really didn't really like her. It was just something about her that just didn't fit, you know. I dumped her. And she going on 19. Now imagine what, a 15-year-old? No, bro, you crazy. Because even a 18, 19-year-old ain't no good unless you 20, 21. If you 20, 21, yeah. But if it's some age difference between y'all, you ain't gonna like them. You ain't gonna like them. Ain't no way. You're not culturally connected no kind of way. I'm about to be 68. There's no way. I would not be able to date no woman in her 20s and barely in her 30s, because it's like apples and oranges. I ain't trying to have no woman. I got to raise her. I don't want to have you be my woman and my child. I'm not raising you. You know how much stuff I got to try to teach a 20-something-year-old? I'm not doing that. They don't know much. They just learning. What mature older man want to be with somebody don't know nothing other than a predator? A predator. Somebody that can dominate them by teaching them everything. And then can abuse them because they don't know what they're doing. So you could do all kind of stuff to them. And they don't know. You could take advantage of them mentally. Childism. Definition of origin coined by Chester M. Pierce and Gail B. Allen in 1975 to describe anti-child attitudes and practices. It was later developed by Elizabeth Young Brule as a form of prejudice representing adult immaturity and resistance to children's rights. Manifestation, childism, operates through daily subtle Humiliations. Now you tell me everything he say about women is humiliating. Everything. Ignoring opinions and systematic structures, including in legal systems that allow corporal punishment or treat children as property. So he's got these young girls that he be talking about he like, and he treat them as property. Not only that, he's saying weird stuff about the mama and the daughter. He's dating women that got a daughter, and he's saying all type of sexual stuff about the daughter of the women he dating. Like, dude need to go to prison. I'm telling you, he's probably going to prison. He didn't told on himself. There's no way. I don't believe there's no way he could talk about that without participating. It's impossible. There is no way Corey could talk about young female children like that and not to. And then he said he went to Iceland. He said he went to Iceland. Man, that man said he went. He said in Iceland you could be with the kids. He said he went to Iceland. That's what he said. Right on TV. Told everybody. That's why it's mental. Because he got to the point it's in his soul and he's spilling out his soul. His mental, it got to the point he's sloppy. He's just saying everything. What man gonna get up there and disrespect their daughter, call their daughter, all type of stuff for comedy, for other people, put them in your family business like that? What kind of comedy is that? What kind of comedy for a grown man to go tell his family business between him and his daughter, all on the internet, embarrass his daughter, damage her reputation? Don't try to protect her reputation. And you a grown-ass man and your feelings is hurt that bad when you throw, okay, your daughter under the bus, which means your feelings, that means you soft. That means he don't have adult feelings. Something is wrong with him. There's no way your daughter could do anything to have you to the point where you're going to get on social media and tell people you don't know, total strangers, about your own daughter. People all over the world can watch videos of you disrespecting your own daughter, and you got no feelings that she got that disrespect all over the world from her daddy. You disrespecting the daughter and her mama to the whole world. And then got people think it's funny. And think it's funny. And he's not funny. Corey is not a good comedian. He's one of the worst comedians ever. He's not funny. Nothing he says is funny. Corey Holcomb is not funny. Never have been funny. Never. He's not funny. Those jokes is whack. He's whack. I don't even do comedy. I'll run Corey Holcomb off the stage. He's not funny. He is providing comedy for men that have mental issues. You got to ask yourself, what man would buy a ticket? After you watch what he say about women, what man would buy a ticket to go see him? It's an audience full of weirdos. I'm telling you, that's why I told a lot of brothers, don't associate yourself with him, because that's what you're going to be. You're going to be a weirdo. If you like Corey and you tell the world you like Corey, in the world, you're a weirdo. Because there ain't no decent man going to like Corey. Only weirdos going to like Corey. Who in the hell going to... Who? Look at Darlene sitting up there uncomfortable. And that man saying all this stuff. And women ain't nothing but the B word. Don't she know that to him, she the B word? So childism operates through humiliation, connection to other oppression. it is recognized as a form of prejudice that intersects with adultism and patriarchy. Modern reinterpretation, John Wall and the Childism Institute redefine it as a critical theory like feminism that focuses on empowering children as a subjugated group and transforming adult-centered social structures. Impact. It justifies actions that are not in the best interest of the children, including neglect, abuse, and the denial of agency. Childism is increasingly recognized as a crucial lens for deconstructing adult-centric norms and promoting a more inclusive society. So this man, everything he's saying about these young children does not benefit the children. It's all to their detriment. He's talking about children in a sexual manner. A grown-ass man that got to be 60, a grown-ass man that's dyeing his hair and his beard, telling kid and baby humor, and every female is a B word, from the baby to the adults. That's B this B, that B, that B. When you talk about the little girl, you say the little B did this, the little B did that. I'm just looking, I'm saying, who laughing at that? This man is calling babies the little B, called a little B. Now, typically the word bitch is used to a woman that has done something, some type of attitude or something negative, right? Like the word bitching, stop bitching, mean complaining. How in the hell is a 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, a B? Somebody explain something to me. How is a child a B word? That's an adult term that really should be used sparingly. You just don't call women the B word. I don't know where brothers got that from. The B word is something used sparingly or something that's used in a comedy, like a adult comedy, like saying, what? It's used between women as a sign of close friendship. So if they're real close, she'll be like, B, you tripping, right? That, you know what I'm saying? Like the N-word. The N-word was usually show we so tight, we can go there. That don't apply to strangers. That don't apply to just women in general. I'm not going to call no woman no B word. If you're a woman, and I don't know you, and you get to argue with me, I'm not going to say, B, you tripping. I'm going to say, you tripping. I'm not going to put the B on the. I don't know you. I can't just be saying, B, you tripping. That's too aggressive. And I'm a man. So why am I saying like fighting words to a woman that I can't fight? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense, me in a place talking to a woman with fighting words, but I'm a man. So anytime I get into it with a woman, I'm trying to de-escalate it or move on because I can't fight her. Young brothers, we players, we kings. Listen, I'm in the store. I'm moving around. Maybe I bump into a lady in line and she's like, damn, you just gonna bump into me like you just don't see me? Right? In my world, we always try to make friends with the women because you never know, you might be single one day or whatever. You might want to holler at her. So I'm be like, baby girl, it wasn't even like that. You just gonna go off on me like that? I'm gonna smooth that out. Y'all brothers ain't players no more. I'm not finna, if she tripping, I'm trying to smooth it out. I'm trying to make me a friend right here. So I'm like, oh, so all that. Also, so getting your phone number is definitely out of there, huh? And she goes, yes. But she gonna like it. And then pay for a stuff. I say, you still mad? Yeah, I said, but I'm not gonna be B. You should watch where you going, B. I'm not doing all that. Not with no lady. She might have had a bad day. It might be that time of month or whatever. But I'm not going that route with no women. I'm not calling no women no B words and shit like that. I don't even know her like that. I'm not trying to equal madness with she mad. I ain't trying to be mad too with no woman. I'm not trying to be mad too with no woman because every woman, I'm a hunter. And so every woman, every woman is a possibility. Then also, young brothers, listen to me. Not only a possibility, you got to understand, in life, you want to open up as all opportunities. So then anybody, when you see them again, when you see her again, you want her to still look at you positive. You want her to look at you and say, I bumped into him and cussed him out. He was still trying to holler at me. He cool. See what I'm saying? You want to be cool. It's diplomacy. Men, you always want to use diplomacy. Always. With other men and with women, you want to use diplomacy. You don't want to use aggression. Because for one, aggression, you can end up in jail. So why would you kick off something that's going to ruin your whole day? Now you arguing with dude. Now you locked up. Now you realize, oh, dang, I had to pick my daughter up from school. Yeah, but you got to arguing instead of going on with your day so you can pick your daughter up. You got to pick your wife up from work. And now you locked up because you forgot all the things you got to do in here, something that you could have blew off. If ain't nobody trying to attack you, what is you doing? You're only supposed to be wilding to defend yourself against physical attacks. You're not supposed to be wilding over no words or none of that. This man is all aggressive, then got out here, Corey, and then made himself look like he abused children. The man put his foot in his own mouth and destroyed his own reputation because he started disrespecting women and society let him get away with it. And he started getting older and sloppy. And then he just started saying everything. I believe he could have been drinking or on stuff and get a little buzz and get on his show and loose lips sink ships. And he done sunk his own ship. Because there ain't no way when he go back and look at what Poetic Flacco been putting together, what he said about children, and ain't no way Corey gonna be cool with that. He got to be looking at that saying, What the hell was I doing? What the hell? What the hell? That man destroyed his own career. At his age, ain't no coming back. Period. He gave his spot up. You know what I'm saying? I could have been a comedian. I just didn't go that route. If I'm a comedian right now, guess what? If I'm a comedian right now, guess what I'm writing a whole skit about? Corey. I'll come up. I'll take his spot right now. I could take his spot right now. Do a live comedy show and take his spot. Hey y'all, I hope y'all having a good night. What the hell's wrong with Corey? They're gonna be cracking up. Listen, hide your wife, hide your kids. I mean, Corey love them kids, don't he? What's wrong with him? And I just drag him. I drag him up. I think he mad at the world because he looked like Shaq is his daddy. Don't he look like baby Shaq? I just started dissing him. It's a damn shame when you mad because you ugly. You know what I'm saying? You know, Corey ain't. You know what I'm saying? And what the hell is a Holcomb? What's a Holcomb? See, right there, that's where they messed up. Corey Holcomb. He ain't got a chance in hell. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He like kids. What's wrong with him? And poor Darlene, no wonder Ice-T got rid of you. You know what I'm saying? Ice-T made the right move getting rid of Darlene. Yeah, he looking like little Shaq, trying to be funny. I'll tell you what we need to do with Corey. We need to call the police. Okay? All right? We need to call the police. What's the name of the police that arrested Diddy? I have a whole comedy skit all of it, dog. And then I'll talk about his gangster. And he's a gangster. He the first gangster that's watching a baby with a bottle in her mouth. He a gangster, and he watching a 2-year-old with a bottle in his mouth. What kind of gangster is that? I don't think he's a gangster. I think you could take the stir off and just say he's gay. No inster. You ain't no gangster. You gay. No inster. Yeah, Corey is no inster. No inster. Yeah, no inster. And then he's not a full grown positive gay male. He like kids. Allegedly, supposedly, possibly. I do a whole skit on him. I get rich off of him. You know what I'm saying? And every woman is a B word. I wonder how his mama and grandmama feel about that. His grandmama's an old B. You know, I know, according to Corey, his grandmama is an old B word. You know, according to Corey, his great grandmama, his grandmama, his great great grandmama, his aunties, all of them is B words. Every woman he knows is a B word. He don't know no women. You know what I'm saying? All he know was itches. You know what I'm saying? Corey don't know no women. You ain't never heard Corey call no woman a woman. All of them is bees. What his mama done did to him? Yeah, I can't stand dude. I cannot stand him. He's been targeting single mothers with daughters, and he's weird. Women should never marry men like that, or men that enjoy that type of comedy. Ladies, if if you want to test a man, maybe it'd be a good idea when he come back to show a Corey Holcomb or comedy and see if he like it. If he like it, don't date him no more. End the date quick. Just turn it off after a while and be like, you know what? I don't really feel that well. Maybe can we do this another time? Get rid of him. Ladies, you want to date a man, do the Corey Holcomb test. Because if you date me, I come by your crib and you put on Corey Holcomb. I mean, you like this B-ass, you like this B-A-N? Why you watching him? Turn that off. Yeah, turn him off. We're not doing that. That's what you want. You know to him you ain't nothing but a B. So ladies, you can use that. And if you get a man come over there and he start laughing and he calling all the women the B word and you dating this guy think it's funny, he think you that too. Dump that zero and get with a hero. So that's a good test. Do the Corey Holcomb test. If the man like Corey, it's a no. Because ain't no real G like Corey. It ain't going to really work on women because, you know, if I'm with a woman and I put on Corey and she start laughing, I'm the weirdo. I don't care enough. I can lay hands on her and change her and put the Holy Spirit in her and change her mind. I could change her. So I ain't worried about the women. Women can be converted. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling the women that if you know a man that likes Corey or defends Corey, run, dump him. Because it ain't no way I could defend him to no queen. I'll tell any queen you're disgusted. Y'all ain't no B words like that. Dude is disgusted. He a punk. He really not built like that. Gangsters don't talk like that. He not that. That's why he punched that lady. He not that. He not that. And he cannot go to prison. Let me tell you something. I don't know if Corey understand. He can't go to prison. Corey cannot go to prison. I'm telling you. Because in prison, men have anxiety for not being able to protect their daughters and their queens, and especially their daughters. So if he get locked up with a brother that got daughters that ain't there for their daughters, and Corey been saying that he would have dated your baby mama, that's what he's saying. Corey's saying that he would date my baby mama and be looking at my daughter like that. That's how we taking it. That's why I see him. That's why I can't talk to him. I gotta go the other way because I'm gonna be too hostile because I'm gonna be like Corey. So if I got a daughter with a woman and you date her, that's how you're gonna be looking at my baby. My baby is like a bee, and you're gonna be looking at my baby in all these sexual ways. I'm just asking. Oh, that's how you roll. That's how you getting down. You know what I'm saying? I don't like dude. I got daughters. I raised a lot of stepdaughters. I got 3 daughters. I got 3 daughters. I got 4 granddaughters. And this man is making jokes that he would be looking at my babies like that. My babies and my grandbabies like that. Boy, that's a serious, I never liked dude. Now, I really hate him now. I never liked him. Because I just don't respect no man. Disrespecting no women, to me, that's not comedy. And to me, I can't take no woman on no date and he's sitting there making her uncomfortable. He'll ruin the date. We try to take a woman somewhere where a man's singing a love song, making her feel beautiful, making her feel more like a queen. We ain't trying to take her nowhere where a man is trashing her and beating her down and beating down her gender like that. What kind of date is that? Think about all the men that took their women to see him disrespect the woman he took on the date. And your daughter and your mama. He gonna call your mama to be. He gonna call your auntie to be, your sister, all the females in your family. He think they all B words. He call every woman the B word. And now you got to come outside when he just started selling stuff about kids. You got to come outside with he just don't know. It's a lot of dudes out there want to see him. I don't know if he understands that. He's done. All that tough guy stuff, tough dudes don't like kids. Tough dudes ain't staring at babies, bro. That ain't gangster. All that. And now you gangster. That don't even go together, bro. Looking at a little girl stuff a bottle down her mouth and having crazy sexual thoughts about it. He said Corey gonna have her dying. Yeah. Bye. And you used the right word. If you watch him enjoying it, you definitely dying. You're not living. Yeah, bye. Soon as I go on a date with you, Crystal, and you say that, the date over. You ain't my type. You definitely ain't my type. I need a queen with some class. Okay? Yeah. Soon as you say that, you're going to be just like I said I banned you. That's how the day will go. If my son bought you by and you said that, I pull my son to the back room and say, man, dump her, man. She trash. She not fine, Crystal. She plastic. They should name you plastic. They gave you the wrong name. They should have named your ass plastic. You got the wrong name. Crystal is fine and got class. They should have named you plastic. Oh my soul. You got the wrong name. Yeah, you wouldn't make the cut, sweetie. I need a queen. Ain't no queen enjoying no bozo. And then your sense of humor, if he funny, then your sense of humor is shot too, because he's not funny. He's not no Cat Williams or no Mike Epps type comedian. He not funny like that. He not even a B comedian. He like a elemental P or something. Dude ain't no A-lister comedian. Ain't nobody. Corey ain't funny. Corey ain't no Richard Pryor or no Eddie Murphy or nobody like Corey is not funny. He's not going down in history as no great comedian. He's going down in history as somebody suspected of telling jokes about children. And sister, if you got daughters, you foul. If you got daughters and you like Corey, I'm going to tell you like this, though, Crystal. Don't tell nobody else that. Keep your reputation intact. If you like him, keep it to yourself because they're going to associate you with him. Don't do that no more, Crystal. If he want to jump off the cliff and make jokes about babies, do not connect yourself to him. Now, don't say I didn't give you no game. If you like him, keep it to yourself. Don't disgrace your reputation. You could lose jobs over that. If an employer see you like him, a lot of people just not going to like you, Crystal. I'm telling you, why are you doing that? He jumped out the window and ruined his reputation, and you going to go say you like him and ruin yours? Come on, baby girl, you got to make better decisions. I'm Exhibit A. Look, I don't like you. I don't like you now, Crystal. I don't like you. A lot of people not going to like you. Why would you do that? Keep your mouth shut. You don't get on social media. I like all the jokes about children and stuff. Oh, you do? I think it's funny. I be cracking up with him talking about kids. Really? Somebody called DCFS. Girl, you go get your house, Crystal. Now, Crystal, listen. If anybody know her and see that, and then see anything funny going on with her and her kids, they're going to call DCFS. I mean, I can see how people would like it. We got a lot of degenerates out here and people. We got a lot of sick people. That's why the black community, why you think the black community ain't doing as good as they could do? We got a lot of issues. We got a lot of alcoholics. We got a lot of people on substances. We got a lot of abusive mothers, right? We got a lot of abusive mothers. We got a lot of abusive fathers. We have a lot of that. We have women that'll watch him and still date him with daughters. We have women that will let him be around their daughters. We have women that will let him sleep with their daughters. We have women where the mama and the daughter will sleep with him. We do have a lot of Luciferian behavior in this country. And so jokes about children are like definitely something that psychiatrists and psychologists would evaluate. Seriously. He would be he gonna be a study. A lot of psychiatrists and psychologists are gonna be studying him. And the fact that Corey didn't know or expect the reaction he's getting shows some serious psychological problem. Am I lying? What he thought that was okay. Just let that sink in. He thought that was funny and he thought that was okay. Where he did it like a lot of times. So far they got 2 videos full of it. By the time it's done, he might have 5 or 6 videos full of that type of behavior. Let that sink in. He thought he had no idea he was going to get this reaction. What that tell you? What that tell you when you get on there and say, oh, in this country, you can sleep with children? I went. I had a good time. What that tell you? Who would say that in a country where you can't do that? Who would say, who in a right mind that's making money would say that? Richard Pryor, y'all remember the rumors about Paul Mooney and Richard Pryor's son, right? Y'all remember how Richard felt about that alleged rumor. If you don't know, go look it up. Comedians not, no. The man is slow. The man is slow. There is mental issues there. Might be some substance, I can't say it, might be some substance abuse, and got on the internet sloppy. We see it in the dirt. Dirt, look a little dirt. Dirk get all on the record. Yeah, I shot him. Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I rapped about all his crimes. This is not rare. Many times people that do certain bad things, they get sloppy. Yeah, Paul Mooney. Yeah, Paul Mooney was, y'all know what he was. And a lot of men like that, they hate women. They hate women while emulating women, allegedly, with him. But this happens in crime and everything in the social media era and music. Because, like I said, a good example is Dirk. Dirk went and said a whole bunch of stuff on his songs that could be associated with violent situations. Wow, what the hell? Because you get sloppy. You get sloppy when you go on the dark side. It happens to a lot of dealers. They live in the hood, they start dealing. They get into the dark side of dealing these substances to the community. And then they go buy the biggest car ever and park it right there in the hood so the police could see who did he made all this illegal money. No job, nothing. Like mental illness. It reminds me, I had a Cadillac on Dayton wheels and all that. Stupid, right? I lived on 92nd. I lived on 93rd, right off of King Drive. And I met this female and we started dating. And where she lived, you had to have a permit to park in their parking lot. So I would just leave the car at home and go see her. So one day, y'all, I get up in the morning. All I had to do was go right down King Drive because she was right there on 60-something King Drive and I was on 92nd. Can't make this up. So one day I got on the bus, rode down, got off, and when I walked over to my block, right, it's like 10 in the morning, 10:30. Everybody at work, right? When I got on the block, it ain't a car nowhere on the block. All the neighbors that went to work. It's one car My Cadillac, Dayton wheels shining, looking like a dealer, and he the only one home. There's no way no detectives gonna drive down that street and not see that car and want to know who and run an investigation on who got that car. My mind was still open enough that when I turned the corner and seen that, I was like, oh, hell no. I'm telling on myself because the reason I didn't know I was telling on myself, right, is because when I was parking with a whole bunch of cars there. So my car was just in between all other cars. So my car wasn't standing out. But when I came home, there's no cars on the block. So my car just standing there. It's clear that person don't got a job. And now you can see the car. You can't see the car when everybody parked. There might be a van behind it. All that is just another car. So when you turn on the block, you're going to be driving in this park. But when you go on the block and there's no cars, it's just sitting there, you can see it from a half a block away. I took it and parked it in my father's backyard. I said, "Oh, I can't leave this car. I'm going to prison." I had just got out, and I'm fighting the case. I'm fighting 8 to 40. I'm fighting the case for 8 to 40. I'm saying all that to say sometimes you get blinded. Yeah, the paranoia, I got it out of there. I'm saying all that. That's when you in the world, sometimes you go blind. You ain't realizing what you're doing. You forget what you're doing. You end up telling on yourself. Especially, okay, if you live in negative, if you live in positive, you're going to tell it. It's going to spill out in your conversation. If you live in negative, guess what? It's also going to spill out in your conversation. However you live in, it's going to come out. And that's what happened to Corey. Corey been thinking foul. And then he told everybody. And what happened is he said it once here, like my car. It was parked between other cars. So he said it once here. Then he said it later over there. Then he said it later there. But Poetic Flocko on them is taking all of it and moving all the cars and just got his car on video by itself. So now everywhere where he slid that in, people is sliding it out and putting it together, and now he's exposed. Because he didn't see it like that when he said it. If he's doing an hour show or 2 hour show and he went on that rant for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, it ain't going to stand out. But when you take this 5 minutes out, that 5 minutes out, that 5 minutes out, and you put in a 30 minutes of him saying he never thought about that. Because he's been telling on himself a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. He's been telling on himself, probably drinking or something, sloppy, telling on himself. Then another thing Corey made a mistake is this. Your team can't be beneath you. His team is a bunch of losers. He didn't have no G's. He didn't have no kings and queens in his team that would say, bro, what you say that for? They are yes men and yes women. And that's why you got to have riders in your team. You can't have nobody in your team that just let you do whatever you want to do. That's not a good friend. You need somebody that's your same level. These people want to go and get somebody beneath them. One reason 50 Cent is so successful is Tony Yayo. Because if 50 do something, guess who gonna tell him? If 50 do anything whack, I tell you who will say something. Tony will say something. Tony will tell him. Let me tell you something. Tony Yayo will tell Fifth, he don't care how much money Fifth got. He'll tell her, bro, you tripping. Tony will tell him, I don't know why you do that. That's stupid. You sound stupid right now. You know that, right? Tony would tell him. That's why Tony Yayo is so valuable to 50. Because Tony ain't letting 50 do nothing that ain't right. He gonna tell him. Tony gonna tell his ass. He's invaluable. I'm telling you. Tony Yayo don't care. He gonna tell him. That's why 50 love Tony. Tony ain't gonna let 50 jump off the cliff. Hell no. Tony will come straight to it. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that. And he willing to argue with him. Boom. Tony willing to argue with him all night and the next day. If Tony right, he not changing his stance with 50. He gonna keep talking to him the same way they talk to each other when they ain't had no money. And he bringing Uncle Murder in the same way. Him and Uncle Murder, he keeping it 100 with Uncle Murder. He ain't playing. Tony Yayo gonna tell the facts. He don't give a damn who you is. You gotta love Tony Yayo. You need a person in your corner like a Tony Yayo. And Corey had all flunkies. That light-skinned dude, he ain't worth nothing. The lady, the girl, she ain't worth nothing. Nobody he got is worth a dime. Nobody. Because if he had some riders, we would have told him, don't start beefing with Anton, man. Just have the show for the views. Why you beefing with Anton? You brought Anton in there. Let Anton say what Anton say. Why would you bring him in there and then don't interview him and get the best out the interview? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Tony Yayo is from Haiti. He Haitian. He ain't Jamaican. Tony Yayo from Haiti. He a Haitian. He ain't no Jamaican. Bro, that Tony Yayo Haitian. Crazy. That man had jumped off a cliff and he didn't even know. Imagine he didn't know the reaction that you can't tell no whole bunch of sexual jokes about no children. That just show you he gone. Oh, okay. All right. I don't understand why you posting all that and you kind of trolling, bro. You kind of trolling. I'm not going to let you just go up and down the chat and just, you know what I'm saying, like that. You messing up my chat. Anytime you see somebody in the chat and they posting 8-9 times in a row, they trolling. And they ruining the experience for other people. Let other people say something. Nobody want to hear you back to back like that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't it. Bro, that ain't it. You just posting back to back fanatically so somebody see you. We see you. Go sit down somewhere. We see you, bro. Everybody over here to see you. And you can't post to the point where people ain't listening to me. They reading you. People supposed to be listening to what I'm talking about. Bomba clot. Boy, go hold your corner, boy. You know, see. How y'all do? And I would say, y'all, man, I go on, so. You know what I mean? Bomba. Watch out. Cease and settle with that nonsense, man. This big international Roski. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, your bomber glad I want it, boy. I mean, I'll give it to you, you know. Yeah, I mean, know that style too, even in them things there. But them, nah, I respect them kind of weed here, man. Lots of yard, man, I tell you, man. Hold your kind of youth, man. Y'all tripping. You know, see. So that's all I got to say about that. He got sloppy. That's why you want to be righteous. So when you talk, righteousness come out. What you do in the dark gonna come to the light. So you want to be righteous. Because if you is doing negative dark stuff, it's gonna come out. And Corey got negative dark thoughts. Corey has admitted he be looking at children sexually, according to his comedy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tony Yayo is like, I think, part Haitian. A lot of them, Haitian Jack, a lot of them. The other dude, Henchman, I think Henchman is Haitian. Jimmy Henchman. A lot of them. A large Haitian community in Florida and in New York. Tony Yayo, I like Tony Yayo. He good. And Corey, he told on himself, which is the sad thing is he told on himself. He said all that stuff in the social media era. And when you say that type of stuff in the social media, it ain't never going away. It's getting copied and reposted from here on out. He's ruined. They ain't gonna never stop posting that. And what he gotta pray that he didn't do nothing wrong. Because if he did anything illegal, it's coming out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He might be sending himself to prison. I'm not doing nothing on my born day. I'm gonna just go get some food and chill. I'm not celebrating. I'm not celebrating till my 70. If I be 68, at this age, I only celebrate certain ones. I'm only celebrating 70. I ain't celebrating 68. Right now, I don't care nothing about birthdays. Right now, I'm at the mindset. My mindset is to have more. My mind says to get a 90, 100. So my mindset ain't like, oh, I made it. My mindset is where I want to make it. So I'm looking 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. That's how I'm looking. 68, 68. It's cool. But I'm not, to each his own, but you've been having birthdays since you was one. Should it get to be too many? 68. It's like, yeah, you have a birthday 62, 61, 62, 62. Happy birthday, happy birthday. It's like, all right, I get it. It's a birthday. But you don't, just to celebrate every one of them. For my birthday, I'll be working out, exercise, so I have another one. I'll be eating some plant-based food. I'll probably go to an Ethiopian restaurant, give me a bunch of plant-based food, and the whole goal is 69, 70. I don't want to cheer because I ain't at the finish line. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be at the finish line. I like that. So listen, Corey blew it. There's nothing else to say. He talked himself into a hole, and it's all bad. So look, y'all support the channel, all right?